Hello and welcome back to another Backflip Happy Hour. I am Ryan Fring, the hostess with the mostest. And you know why I'm the hostess with the mostest? Because the other co-host, John Shoemaker, is not here today. That's right. He is headed out to Yankton today to hang out with family. And a fun thing you might not know about us is that we both have family who lives there. And like my dad grew up right around there as well, which is crazy that we both have that extended family over there in South Dakota in that area. So I am the only host today, but this is going to be so much fun. We've got some great guests today that we're going to hang out with, but this is a happy hour. So we got to mention what we're drinking, and I always like to start it off. So here we go. This is a cognac. I actually don't remember anything about it. I should look at the picture. I was hanging out with Father Scott from our last happy hour, and he had a cognac that he shared some of it with us, and we broke the cork, so he put some in a bottle. So this is like a 50 or more year old cognac, and I'm super excited to drink it. And of course, I've got all the other things. I've got some tea, I've got some sparkling, I've got some water. You know, we got it all going on. But that's not why you're here. You're here to hang out and drink with our friends. So let's bring them in here. We've got Peggy and Brent. Hey, guys.
Well, hello. How are you?
Hello.
Good. And that was perfectly natural, just like we talked about.
Exactly. Hey, I have a question before we get started.
Yes, we've already started.
Where's Yankton? I've never heard of that.
Yankton, South Dakota. So, do you know where like Sioux Falls is?
Yep.
I can't. Let's see. Is it like just north? Here, let me pull up a map. I always went there as a kid. Like I don't ever remember. Sorry, it is
South Dakota.
Yeah, so Sioux Falls is north. Sioux City, Iowa, is like southeast. Let's see if I can pull up this map. Here we go. We have technology, so we can do this. This is a great natural way that things are happening. Here we go. Boom. All right. So we're over here. You see this?
Nope, I don't see anything. I see you.
Oh, hang on. I got to turn it on. There we go.
All right.
Guys, we're live. This is the great part of being live. So we're over here in Madison, and it's, almost directly west. So
look at that.
My mom grew up in Sioux City. My dad grew up in like Yankton. I think it's Mission Hill that he grew up in. I don't know, somewhere around here. Oh, there's apparently a Wakanda right over here too.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Little known fact, that's where filming took place.
Yeah, they have such great technology in Wakanda, South Dakota.
The states, nobody knows why there's two of them. Like, do you really need a North and a South Dakota? It can't just be called Dakota.
There was not enough. I mean, there was the East and a West Dakota, but then, they got taken over by the indigenous peoples of, I don't know, Minnesota and Iowa. So, they had to change it. But let's get started off right. What are you guys drinking?
Go ahead, honey.
I'll go first. I'm drinking, what we refer to, Brent and I, as fish beer. But this time it's light fish beer, Brent, so we should be good. It's Bell's Two Hearted Ale, but this one's a light hearted ale.
I haven't had that one. That's awesome. I've definitely had the Two Hearted.
Don't tell anybody else, but I like it when she drinks that beer.
This is actually so Brent and I play on a bocce ball league, and we have for 8 years.
Yes.
Nice.
And they have really big fish beers at bocce, and I like one's not enough, but two's probably too many sometimes. But they come in the big can, so I've got to drink two.
Nice. You don't want it to go to waste. And I like that too. I didn't know that about you, Brent, that you played in a bocce ball league. Because I do, from my Facebook scouring, it seems, Peggy, like you're into fitness, like you bike, you swim, you do things, regularly like that.
I want to see where you're going with this, Ryan. I want to see where you're going.
It sounds like you're also athletic in that you're a bocce ball, aficionado.
Well, bocce ballers are often considered at the top of the athletic food chain. So it is a misconception that a lot of people carry. No, my athletic years have.
Sorry, are you saying that you're at the top of the food chain? Is that what you're telling me?
Correct.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it goes like bocce ballers, and then like NFL, and then like, Major League Soccer and NBA kind of right there, and baseball's down here somewhere. But bocce ballers, that's like, crap.
I will say Brent is really good bocce ball player. I will give him that. Don't tell him I said this, but he is better than I am.
Well, he was also like, you guys want to play some darts? Maybe, huh? And then just destroys us,
Yeah.
Which was all luck, by the way. I'm not a really good dart player. So.
Yeah. You're a hustler is what you are. So as you can see too, we've got a couple different locations. Maybe introduce yourself. People know Brent, but you can talk about yourself in a minute. But we haven't met Peggy yet. Peggy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you are?
Current location unknown. I'm actually.
That sounds like a good podcast.
Yes. The kids and I are camping this weekend. So we are somewhere, I think we're north of Stevens Point, but not quite Tuwasa. Oh. And I dumped the kids at the campsite, realized there was not any reception there. Just Googled nearest gas station, and like 7 miles away, found a gas station. Luckily across the street was a beautiful park. Like I'm out here by the water. Nice. And in true camping fashion, as Brent would admit, for the maybe 2 times he's ever camped with us, we picked the coldest or the hottest weekends to camp. So it's freezing right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I do appreciate you jumping on even with the camping. How did you get out of camping? Do you not camp?
I am not a big camper. I respect those that choose camping as an option for spending time on the weekends and whatnot. I have my own, I call it a funny take on it, but I don't really need to go pay to be homeless. You know what I mean? Like I worked really hard to have a home to stay in. No, the biggest thing is just I've had some back surgeries, and a lot of times it's sleeping on an air mattress or whatever. It just leads to being really grumpy for a few days after. So I limit my camping to like 1 or 2 times a year. It's kind of
Yeah, that doesn't sound like it's worth it. But 1 or 2 times a year, that's pretty impressive. Like last year was the first time I was able to get my wife to go camping because, I mean, to be fair, we also have had, she's had an infant for like the last 13 years that we've been married. And that is not exciting to her, just like a bad back. She's like, there's no way I want to take care of an infant while camping. So
fair enough too. Yeah.
Now our kids are a little bit older. We still have the baby's a 2-year-old, but she wanted to go camping last year because her parents are getting older and they're doing camping regularly. So we got to go camping last year. And this year we're going camping twice, which is amazing because like I grew up camping and I freaking love it.
There you go. You can always substitute in for me on my family's camping trips.
That'll be great. Yeah.
The kids don't even ask if Daddy's going anymore. They know Dad's going to stay home and work.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, as a general introduction, that's my wife. We're married.
Yay.
Right to the right direction. There we go. We're married, so that's why when you hear me like say, "Hey, honey," I'm not like calling some random female. Hey, honey.
I thought that's what you called Ryan.
Hey, there's the lower third. I like it.
He does call me honey.
I do, but that's when you're not around.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. As we were talking about before, my athletic years were before. I played college basketball, did that. I was in shape. And I was like, you know what? Eating donuts is a little more fun. So
so enjoyable.
I've taken that course of working out now for the past couple decades. So I'm thinking about transitioning back into a shape other than circle. But it's 30.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So Peggy, what, again, that was kind of my limited knowledge of you, aside from what's Brent shared, just looking on Facebook. It seems like you're very active. Have you always been active? Is that important to you?
I don't know. I grew up playing soccer. I played varsity high school. Surprisingly, I was on the dance team because that's not really a me thing in high school. But then I played soccer after just rec. And then, I don't know, probably, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I started running, probably more than that. Started running, did a couple marathons, enjoyed it. One of my best friends had done an Ironman, so she kind of got me into triathlon. So I kind of went from there. So I did a full Ironman in 2018, and
Oh my
currently
gosh.
I'm training again for half Ironman this September.
Wow, that's awesome. Maybe someday I would love to do that. I dislike running, and I think biking and swimming would be okay, but the running is like my everything hurts when I run because I probably run terribly.
Here's the thing though, like you do a marathon, there's 4 hours, nobody's asking you for anything.
Oh
You
my
did an
gosh, I know,
Ironman?
right? Yeah.
You got like 14 hours. There's no kids asking you for anything. Although I have had I think the family kind of got burnt out of marathons. So my last marathon, I was running and receiving messages on my watch. Our daughter was saying, "When will you be home? Can you stop and bring home raisins?" As I'm on like mile 20.
Oh my gosh, you're like, do not understand the immensity of this awesome task.
They're
funny.
over it. They're totally over
Nobody
it.
else is asking anything of you during the time, except your body is like saying, "Please stop." You're asking way too much of me right now. That's the big thing. So the timing was actually great too, because I at that time had a client, which she's got the hat on, perfectly fitting.
Oh yeah.
For Fireman Rob Gulst, and we worked together as went for the Guinness World Record for the most half Ironmans done in 1 year. And we were traveling all over the place, and he did it in the run portion of it, which he walked, but he did it in full fire turnout gear. So I think the record that he set was 23 that year. I think it's since been broken, but nobody's done it in full fire gear and gone for the race. So anyway,
So,
that was
23 half Ironman in a year in full fireman regalia.
Correct.
Yep.
Dude, that sounds nuts.
So the swim part,
70.3 miles.
normal. Yeah, bike part obviously normal, but then the walk part, the run part was all fire turnout gear. So I got burned out from triathlons just in general from supporting Peggy and going. And what people don't understand is it's even just to be a fan of somebody and cheering on an Ironman. You get tired. I mean, it's a lot of work chasing them around. So
I will say, I think the most steps I've ever gotten on my watch was spectating Ironman. So it is harder to watch and be a true fan and spectate Ironman all day than to go do it.
Well, and not even to talk about the training. I have a friend who trained, and so I was well aware kind of what he did. But just disappearing for a few hours a day is tough when you're entrepreneurs and when you have kids, and it's obviously very worthwhile. But I know a lot of people, they'll do it once, they'll do it twice, and they're like, okay, I'm going to do something a little bit more sustainable or different, or differently scoped.
We don't do that in our family.
You don't do different things, or what do you mean?
We don't do things more tangible.
Yeah.
We're
not a fan of
extreme.
The Hoffman household's not a fan of moderation. It's just all in or nothing. Yeah.
So Peggy, is kind of the triathlon and stuff is that your hobby? Do you have other hobbies?
Yeah. That's kind of my hobby. That's my me time, my time with my friends, training, getting away from the kids. To be honest, it's really important for me or maybe I use this as an excuse to do it. But I want our kids to see it is important to exercise and take care of your body, but also to find something you love, even though you are, you're working, you're a parent, you're a wife. I want them to learn that it's still important to find something you enjoy, and it's okay to take that time and do it, especially as they grow older.
Yeah, I love that so much. Yeah, because we have 6 kids. But even one kid, I know parents of one kid, and they're just like, oh, how do you have time for anything? I don't go out. I don't, a friend of mine, I miss him because he has 2 kids now. But ever since the first one, he's like, well, we got to do dinner and then we got to do bedtime, so I can't come hang out. And we're like, hey, man, you definitely can. You got to make those choices. And so I love that because we try to encourage that as well. Like, we try to do interesting things. That also takes a lot of intentionality, as I'm sure you guys are very well aware. Just takes a lot of intentionality with the kids than when you have time with them. So you got to take more special time with them together, with them individually. And then, like, what did we do? Monica and I went to a wedding on Saturday, which was great, away from everybody. But I do a lot of fitness stuff. So I'm, working out for an hour or more every day. And Monica has her own business. So she's away doing some of that during the day and at night. And I travel kind of like with like Brent as an agency, just crazy, weird hours. So I love that you're saying that. I'm totally behind that and support that.
It takes an interesting co-parenting style, right? Like, knowing she has her training and stuff going on. It actually is her time away, and then it's my time with, you know what I mean? So it works out really well. The kids, especially now, they're 10 and 12. So they I don't think we could probably be gone for a week and they wouldn't even look up from their phones now. So it wouldn't matter. But
until there was like the internet went out, then they would need us.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're very blessed that we have an amazing support system around us as well. Never could have. Brent, sorry, I'm going to brag on my husband for a second. Never mind. He's my motivator. He definitely encourages me and motivates me to do things I never thought I could do. So, that support system from him, believing in me, and then especially with the kiddos, we have a great support system. Brent's parents, my parents, always helping out with the kiddos. And, just like right now, I just dumped our kids at the campsite. I'm like, here, Mom, I'll be back later.
Later.
Well, I didn't bring enough beer.
Yeah, you got to go resupply. Yeah. Well, I think that's really important in a good marriage and in good business is support and communication, because I think when I really started getting serious about fitness, Monica started, looking things up and being like, hey, did you do this? Did you do this? Like, have you taken time? And that type of support is so freeing, because then you don't feel like a bad spouse or a bad parent or a bad business person, because you're doing these things that are really good mentally, spiritually, physically for you, because somebody else is supporting. And it's absolutely hard to be like, hey, I got to go do this thing for a couple hours, or like, what was it this week? I had to shoot Tuesday, Wednesday evenings. And that meant that Monica had to take care of ballet and soccer by herself. And then I'm gone next Tuesday and Wednesday, actually with with Rob at Paradigm, which is the worst days of the week to be gone. But it's just something that we realize is like the industries that we're in to have this time demand on us. And so we will make it work. We'll be in this together because it's something that we want. So having that shared goals and support system, I think, is like the only way that we can be successful in partnerships.
Agree. As I say, the ending was the key part, right? It's the only way you can be successful and still have a marriage. You know what I mean? Is kind of Like if you don't, it would be really easy to not support her and convince her not to do it. But that's not, everybody you also have your own mental health to deal with, right? So the working out part, as much as it's about you physically, it's also about you getting your mind right. And that part I know is something that Peggy benefits from greatly. And I need to find my own. I've been lacking in the activity department for a couple minutes, and I need to find my own niche.
Yeah. What is your hobby these days? Like what,
Work.
to get away to
work some more. Find
He
another.
waits until we go camping.
This is my vacation. They left, so now I'm like, oh, I can finally do whatever project around the house I want, or just no. I do need to find something. It's weird though, because I've never been in a better headspace than I am now.
Oh,
but
awesome.
I still, now I need to pick the body part back up again and get going. So
yeah, and you've only got so much mental capacity, so we focus on different things in different parts of our life. And for me, I'm trying to not go too crazy in any one direction, and make sure that I am taking small steps in other things as well. And it's been so great too, like at home, because we're trying to because we're foolish, we're trying to get our house ready and sell it and move. We've been wanting to move for a little while, and then now we just got some momentum to actually do the work. Now the market's the worst to buy, so we'll see how that goes.
The best to sell, but the worst to buy.
The best to sell, yeah.
True.
But house projects, I'm very capable. My dad did remodeling on the side, so I worked with him a bunch growing up. And Monica, her dad, has done that too. So she's just figure things out. So she's a very capable person. But in terms of just doing stuff like at home, I hate having that burden on me of like figuring out how are we going to redo the kitchen. Because it has to be either a profession or like a hobby or something to go to that level. So we finally got to a point where I told Monica, I was like, I can't think about this stuff. I need you to think about it and just tell me what to do. And I'll lift things and paint things and do whatever you want. I just can't, I don't have the mental capacity to think about that. And that was like a light switch for us, because she also likes to think about that stuff and figure it out. But, she's smaller, so she doesn't have the physical, strength that I do. So some of the kind of mule tasks, I can help her out with. But then she also discovered that she's just like an extremely capable handyman or handywoman. Like she's actually rebuilding our cabinet doors because she couldn't find any. And she's like, you know what? I think I could do this. And so, I help buy and haul the materials, and she'll be cutting stuff, but I'm going to help her measure and make sure everything's all good. And I'll come home and she'll have done it. And, I think it's, again, back to that partnership. I think it's important to realize your strengths and your weaknesses, and to understand your time, the time that you have, and utilize it in the best way possible.
And you can do fun things, right? You can be remodeling your kitchen, and you can be spending, you're working, but you're spending time together, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people always think it has to be one way or the other. Oh, you're working.
Yeah.
So even if I'm by you, we're not together. No, you can spend quality time together, even if you're doing work.
Honestly, that's a big deal for me, because I would feel like I would be separate. Like, you have to do this task, go away and fix this thing. And, then I'd be separate. So it's been different for me too, with Monica just being like, no, we're going to do this all day, and being in it together.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm alone, and, it's amazing.
I would say some of our best dates, Brent, has been cleaning and detailing vehicles.
Oh, nice.
Not
is
so
a
much
hobby
anymore,
that I
but back
am.
in the day. That's Brent's hobby, taking care of his car.
I'm particular.
Not so much my car, but his car.
That sounds like a anniversary or birthday present in the making.
Yes, it needs it. And I do. She's right. I do enjoy just having a clean car. Everybody always like after you wash your car, it's like it just drives better. It doesn't, but it feels like it. I just like having a clean car. I don't know why. Started when very first car I had, it was a turd brown 1979 Monte Carlo, and it was all steel. That's when cars were all steel, and it
The
had
good old days.
a little V6 in it, so I had to floor it. And by the time I got to high school, it was going the speed limit. It was a slow car. But I got into an accident once and like dented the whole back end of an actual pickup truck, and my car had like a little scratch on
Nothing happened. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I mean, that right there, I think, kind of gets to that mental headspace of taking care of something. Because I know for fitness, for me, getting into a space where like now tracking meals and the workouts very specifically, I was thinking today, I was like, it's very much like somebody who works on their car or takes care of their car.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, well, if I do this will be a little bit better. Let me just clean this up and make this a little bit better. Or today we're going to work on this and we're going to maximize this capability. And so I think that's a fun headspace to be in. And I feel like everybody has that in some area of their life. And it sounds like that was cars. Maybe that's still cars for you. And maybe even work too, right? Like it's
cars
great when work can be fun.
I love what I do. So everybody's always like, oh, gotta go to work today. And I'm always like, I'm going to work today. So it is a different, I mean, there's always down days. There's always bad days or weeks, but I love what I do. And I love the clients we have and where we're going as an agency. And then, the kind of hobby of cleaning your car. You're right. It is something else that I'm taking care of. And I just need to focus some of that effort back on my body at some point. Because
cars are replaceable. Sorry, I'm not going to nag you now.
Yeah, so far bodies are not, but maybe they will be.
Maybe we can just take my brain and put it in a different body.
So I mean that's a good segue, not the brain body part, but kind of talking about what you guys do. Describe a little bit more about what you guys do. We've talked to you, Brent, before, and there's a little bit in the title about entrepreneurship. And had I known you were away, Peggy, I would have loved to have tried to order some cookies and see what would happen to see if it would actually happen or not. But I went to the
delivery now.
I know exactly. And today's not a day that I would eat cookies. Yeah.
Go ahead. So we have, just to kind of get it started off, we like as a family, since I met Peggy, I've kind of been doing my own thing. I had a little corporate stint and a few things that I did, but I've worked for a lot of different startups and then I realized after trying the corporate world that doing my own thing was what I wanted. So I've had an invention help kind of marketing company, a record label. We have a cookie business and a media agency. So we've done a bunch of, and Peggy also had an in-home childcare business, and working for other nonprofits. So we've had a bunch of different things that we either have done or are currently doing. But why don't you go ahead, honey, and tell them a little bit about the kind of backstory of you and what you've done. What you've done.
Yeah, that's how people talk. What you done?
So let's see, about me, put me on the spot. I have a degree in child development, and I own a cookie business.
Which is why we get along really well, because I keep having her perfect her child development skills.
So I worked in childcare, and I actually, second time I met Brent, I was working in childcare, loved it, just kind of got to the point where realized there's not much place to go, and you're never, very important work what we do, in childcare, but needed to move on. We got to the point where we had our second kiddo, and it was just ridiculously expensive for us to even pay for childcare, even though I worked there. So we started with Brent's, help, because it's a step that was scary for me. would not have done it without Brent. You do get the credit for this, Brent.
I don't know how this is turning into like a glory fest for me, but I like it. Can we do one of these live things every Friday so I can get a
little pick you up? Yeah, kudos? No, it's great.
Because I'm gone till Monday. That's why, honey. Anyhow, ended up opening our own in-home childcare. Did that for probably 8 years. Kind of got to the point where the kids were getting older. I knew I didn't want to go back to the center. Brent had this cookie business. Which, Brent, do you want to take off how it kind of started?
Sure.
I can take off how I took it over. All right.
Yeah. So it's actually
true teamwork.
The cookie business, ironically enough, was part of a kind of an exit package from a different business that I was a part of. And it never really went anywhere. We had started doing some stuff with it and then didn't. So I was like, sure, I'll take it over. And as I was starting up my marketing agency at that point, I said, I'm going to use it as a referral engine and just see if it works. So I literally would just start making some cookies and delivering them. And as like a little thank you for your business, if there's anybody else you could know of, refer as a client, blah, blah, blah. And ironically enough, or fortunately enough, it led to an increase in referrals, like plus 30% of more business coming just by sending them fresh baked, delivered warm out of the oven cookies. And since then, we've kind of gone through it where we did go through a rebrand to what it is now, the Cookie Exchange, and Peggy has taken it over. And we're slowly, it's nice because we're doing besides organic Facebook and being featured on the news a couple of different times in different newspaper articles. I think we've maybe boosted 2 posts since we've had the company. Yeah. And it's just grown organically. And we have a great group of clients. So anyway, that's when I was like, I can't do this anymore. The media, the agency stuff's taking off too much. Peggy decided to quit daycare and then take over running the cookie company. So now I can pass it back to you, honey.
Okay. Oh, we lost Brad.
That was close. That was really close.
He just flipped off the back of the couch there.
I got
really excited. And he's not drinking. So yeah, took over the cookie business, the end of 2019, rebranded it. So it is now the Cookie Exchange, and I've just been working it, and it's great. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed childcare because I felt like it made a difference. And at first when I started, I'm like, how am I going to leave this and run a cookie company? How does that make a difference in the world? But after doing it, I realized what's really exciting is cookies make a huge difference because it is a thank you and a gratitude, and people are never sad to get cookies. Like, totally brightens somebody's day. We have a lot of realtors and other businesses that just have what we call a cookie jar account. And so they're constantly sending out thank yous to their clienteles or their employees. So it's helping them as well. Like, it's marketing for them. And, it just makes people happy. It makes cookies happy.
It makes cookies happy? The cookies are happy too?
Sorry. Oh, darn it.
Thanks, smart ass.
See, I'm getting all flustered when you make me talk about things.
I like it.
And so it's pretty great. I'm pretty sure we might be the favorite family of all the teachers at our kids' schools because we send cookies. What am I missing, Brad?
Backflip has been sent cookies in the past. They have a testament. So.
And we sent them. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. And I get hot on an idea and then I do it and then I forget about it because I don't have a lot of mental capacity. So I'm just like with that cookie, would you say cookie jar account or?
Yeah. So you just
set us up because then I could just, every month be like, hey, let's do this. Cause we've been sent some cookies. We've sent out a bunch of cookies. And you mentioned the teachers. I was like, oh my gosh, we should totally send, and now I'm like, I could send them. Yeah.
Here's my other little tidbit. May or may not be appropriate to say, but having a background working in childcare, I always tell people when they're looking for childcare, even if it's a really difficult child and the teacher may not be your favorite child as a teacher, if the parents are awesome and appreciative, you love that kid, where like it works, as long as it makes a big difference. Like as long as you feel a little bit of gratitude, like, it makes a big difference in the child care.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
I'm trying to say is our kids are pretty dumb. So we bribe our teachers with cookies and they pass every grade. It's a miracle.
Hey, yeah.
It's actually
They
part of the
do.
sales pitch we have built in for the cookie exchange.
Is
Dumb
your kid a
kids,
monster at school?
that appreciation, that appreciation and letting people know you appreciate them is so great. Rob, Paradigm, namesake of Paradigm, he always says, often says, like, I appreciate you, or, something like that, which is kind of a funny way to exit a phone call, but I always feel better after it, and it's not something I say because I don't know, it feels awkward if I say it, but I kind of want to do that too. Like, hey, I appreciate you, man. Like, just to show that gratitude. And man, what better way than with cookies? Every time we've sent them, I've always gotten like, such fun messages back. Oh, thank you so much. These are amazing. And it's warm cookies. Like, it seems like such a simple thing, but it's a small, useful gesture.
I did have one guy message me after I delivered cookies to him, and he asked if I was a witch because he was really confused how I could get the cookies there still so fresh and warm. He asked if I had witchcraft. So I've declared myself the cookie witch.
Oh, I love that. There's a whole marketing angle there as well, I think, that you could lean into.
Absolutely.
Let's see.
I want to bring up just what you said about the saying appreciation stuff when you get off a phone call, right? We have a good friend, and I used to work with him a ton in the music industry days of old, and we've stayed friends forever. His name's Gary Davis, or Gary Knowledge, as everybody knows him. And he had a health scare and whatnot, but he's actually got a line of clothing out now, and he's really working out and reaching to people like, show your roses, share your roses right now, your appreciation for people right now. Don't wait until they're sick or until they die and you only share them in their eulogy, So it's a good message. And you know what? Guys need to get better at saying I love you to other guys, because it's okay. You can love another guy, and it's, nothing to.
And Gary's tagline is appreciate the living.
Yep.
ATL. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I love that. And certainly generations of male example, like I feel like as a college kid, it was when the first time I was like talking to my dad, and I was like, I love you. And he's like, I love you. And then now we say that like it's a normal thing, but it was just never said because his generation, he didn't have that relationship with his dad. But it's obviously so important to say these things, even if I don't know if you guys have read the 5 love languages. It's such a fun. It's on.
I was
yes,
gonna say
Peggy.
I have.
Yeah.
I passed it to Brent once. I'm not sure. I don't think he read it.
Oh, well, it's so great to like understand how your partner or your friends receive love and how they give love, and it's better in all your relationships, but especially with your partner, of knowing, okay, words of affirmation are not useful to them, or like I don't even know what mine are. I feel like they change as well, but figuring that out. But I feel like cookies are everyone's love language, so it's always a good thing. Well, I was going to say earlier. Everything. Yeah, I was going to say earlier too. I feel like maybe I can throw this back up, but I feel like the online ordering coming soon has been up there for a little while. And I know you guys would probably explode because like, millennials and Gen Z like don't want to talk to somebody on the phone. Even thinking about this cookie exchange thing, I'm like, that'll simplify things, because then I could just send you a message and be like, okay, here's the next person. Here's the next person. Here's the next,
Yes.
And that's what we do with most cookie jar accounts is you just shoot us an email and say, hey, we need these out here,
But thanks for bringing up that about the website, Ryan. Even as you brought up on screen, I was like, oh, that's right. That's the other thing I need to do this weekend is the redesign of the website that I've been talking about for a long time.
Get that done.
I guess
if I only had a good marketing person to use.
I know.
I know. If only we knew somebody who could do that.
I am on the lookout. There's this wall that I sit behind. It seems like they do a lot of that stuff, but
Yeah, there's little excuse, I think.
I wonder, maybe I should reach out to that Rob Perro guy. He might be able to do it for me.
you should see if he's got some capabilities to do it, some space.
That would be the best if Rob comes into the office and he's like, Brent, I've got a job for you.
This woman called me. She was kind of a pain in the ass, but
she will not stop calling me.
It would be nice. No, it is one of those things, though. It's funny. What is the thing? The cobbler's kids never had shoes or whatever.
Yeah. The cobbler has the worst shoes or whatever it is. Yeah. We like to make that joke too because one of my partners is John Shoemaker, right? So Shoemaker. But even our own, like our website's probably 5 years old. And it's the toughest thing. Like we have it and it's like a priority, but it's like, okay, now we have more clients. We got to serve those clients. Like, how do you kind of get to a point where you're like, well, I can't do that for that client necessarily, or I can't take on these smaller clients, but it's still always hard because somebody comes to you and they're like, I need help. And you're like, okay. And then your own stuff suffers.
Yeah, it does.
To some degree.
And thankfully people see the quality of the work you do for, they're not judging you per se on your own website. And ordering is certainly not an issue on the Cookie Exchange site, but you're right. The actual online ordering part has been, and will probably remain coming soon for a while. Because as you said, the business right now, I loosely refer to it as kind of a lifestyle business in that we obviously want to see continual growth, but at the same token, we want to manage that growth. A lot of the principles that we follow have been perfected by pizza companies, right? And how they prepare their food, when they bake it, and then how they can get it somewhere still warm. So a lot of that system's already in place, but what we don't have in place that they do is the absolute scalability and the number of employees that they can have in doing delivery.
Right.
So with it being a delivery business, it's tough. Because you could say, hey, every half an hour we could provide a delivery, but one may be to Milwaukee and one may be to, out past Verona somewhere. And you can't just have somebody pick a time online for it to be there. It has to be kind of talked about and going to their business or their home, that kind of stuff. So
yeah, well, that's a good point too. Cause like, I also I want to trade you guys like some kind of rad Dollar Shave Club video for like a cookie account, and then we just use our cookie account with our clients throughout whatever, and you can put your marketing in there, so it'd be a great win-win. But you point out a good problem, right? Like when people are like, how's business? Like busy, but it's difficult, and especially if you get call it a 30% bump in business all of a sudden, like that's drastic with just a couple of people operating.
Yep.
So I have Brian, how would you say this? I'm the more cautious one in the relationship, and you're like,
oh yeah,
let's grow it big and we'll figure it out later. And I'm the one going, yeah, but we've got a family to manage and kids to manage, and I'm also working with a nonprofit, and there's a lot of moving parts. And Brent, what I love about you and what I hate about you is let's do it, we'll figure it out later type.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it is a big challenge. I mean, maybe let's just talk about it's 1:00 on a Friday and I'm camping right now because the deliveries were all done earlier this week and there were none quite today. So things like that as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. Like, I feel like I'm definitely okay, let's say yes, and then we'll figure it out along the way. But that creates a lot of stresses.
Yes.
I feel like it's been my entire life. And, I love dealing with that, but that provides a lot of anxiety to most people. And it's actually kind of unique because I think my wife is similar. She's got maybe half of that as well in that, we got engaged right out of college. How old? She was like 21. We were like, hey, we think this is what we want. We strongly feel like this is what we want. Let's just do it. Okay. and like, hey, how do you feel about kids? I don't know. I want a bunch of kids. You want a bunch of kids? Let's start having a bunch of kids. Let's see where it goes. Certainly we plan some stuff, but for us, we don't wait too long on the discernment. We'd like to step through the door, and if we need to step back through that door, in a little bit, that's kind of what we do. But it gets back to that idea of like, yeah, okay, if we were to do like a fun little commercial and your volume goes up 30% or 10% or 20%, that probably is a big difference. And especially like you said, as a lifestyle, like I can do this, and then you wrapped up early on Friday, so you're able to go up a little bit earlier. If you have one more order every day or something like that, it pushes it later. How do you staff up? Like, or if what I would hope would happen is like you quadruple the business, or 5x or 10x with some kind of ridiculous ad, at least for that initial
now we're talking
to that ad. And like, but it's hard, like, because if you get if you're getting several orders a day, or several orders a week, and then all of a sudden it's 10 in a day or 10 a week or whatever it is, like, oh crap, like you got to staff up in an instant. So it's something where you would kind of have to definitely plan, like, okay, we're going to do this. And if something hits and it goes crazy, here's how I handle that. Cause like you guys don't want to just, have the next 3 weeks of your life being like, okay, can't work at Paradigm, can't work at the nonprofit or help out with the nonprofit. Gotta have Netflix watch the kids, like that's certainly something we do as business entrepreneurs occasionally. But if you can plan that a little bit more, it can probably alleviate some of that stress.
Well, as Peggy was saying before too, we have an awesome just family system around us too. So whether that is them taking the kids or one of our parents stepping in and helping out with deliveries, we have a great support system. And I think, let me see, my dad is retired, but still works like 40 hours a week. My mom is nearing retirement, but I'm sure she's going to find like that. You don't really retire, right? You don't take too much of a break anymore. And thankfully they love us and they love what we're doing and want to help out. So Mom and Dad, if you're watching, I love you. You guys are the best.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Well, and the reality is that them helping you out now means you're going to help them out later. Not a vis-a-vis, but like you love them, they love you. They're helping you out now. You'll help them out when they need help.
Exactly.
And we talk a lot, with our kids, whether it be grandparents as well. We're like I said, we're blessed to have both grandparents very involved. But we talk about our four as a unit, and we're a team. Brent likes to call us a SEAL Team 6, which is he's not overly happy about that group. But no, but we're a team. Like we always talk about, like, hey kids, we got to get this done. We're a team. We're working together. Even this morning it was like, why do I have to unload all the dishwasher? I'm like, because Carter's doing this, and we're a team. It has to get done. So, I mean, it just extends on in business and in family.
You're also, because you're like, you don't make enough thousands of dollars to get a say in who does what around here.
True.
Yeah.
Once you start pulling your weight a little more, kid.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Like, any number of children is difficult. I feel like one is probably like the most difficult because it's such a radical shift. And then two, you're still in zone. And then three is the second radical shift. Beyond 1 and 3, like it's kind of a numbers game. And, like you have a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old who could do a lot of work. Like Monica and I, Monica's my wife, in case that was unclear. Monica and I haven't done dishes, been the primary dishes washer in, I don't know, 6 years. Like our kids have done it since they were 6.
You are winning now.
Even if it wasn't super great, that was just part of how we kind of designed our family or operate our family such that we can be sane. And now it's great because we've got 4 kids doing the dishes every night. I have a chart. They do different tasks. Same thing with the lawn now. Like the kids can mow.
Nice.
The kids do bathrooms. Monica never really cleaned bathrooms. That was just never like my mom's anal about cleaning. So I was kind of anal about cleaning. So that's cleaning has always kind of been my realm, even though it takes me 2 hours, what would take Monica about 20 minutes. But the kids do that, you know.
Nice.
We work together. We just figure out how to do it together. And Monica and I have decided that all these endeavors that were a part of are good. And so we work together in them. And the kids obviously have to go along with it. But I think that's how you can still live your life and not be like, oh, I can't do anything because I have to give the kid food, and then we're going to read books for 3 hours and then put them to bed, and then I'm going to go to bed.
Plus, you're teaching responsibility too, right? Not only is it a good thing that it helps the family, but hopefully you're teaching the kids like, hey, we all have something to do around here, and this is your chunk of it, and that's how we as a whole. Yep. And hopefully they have a lesson they learn from that. There's a lot of other families, you know, you see it's like, wow, the kids don't know, they don't do anything, you know, and it's anyway, it's just it's a parenting style that sounds like we've kind of adopted the same, you know. Kids need responsibilities as well, as much as it is helping us so we can continue to do other things. It's also perfect for them, and just learning that you can't just set your dish on the sink and it'll be taken care of magically, you know.
Yeah. And kind of going back to, I feel like one of the best things that ever came up from me starting to work out was this. Brent's gotten much better now, but Brent used to be a huge night owl. So he wouldn't even get up until later in the morning. And I've always been an early bird. So I get up at 4:30 in the morning, and Brent used to get up at maybe 9. I mean, we're talking back in the day.
Yeah.
So,
you're 5 hours into your day. You're 4.5 hours into your day already when he wakes up.
And then he's confused why I'm going to bed by 9. But anyhow, so I used to get up. And I mean, Carter was maybe 2, pushing 2, and Danielle was obviously 2 years older than him. And I would get up to go for a run, and I would just fill 2 sippy cups with juice and set them on the kitchen table, and like open up a Nutri-Grain bar and because they couldn't even open the containers, and set them on the table. I'd turn Disney Junior on and I'd leave. I would go for my run, come home. Here's both kids just sitting on the couch, eating their, totally capable. And then it kind of progressed as they got older. Like they knew if I had clothes laid out that they needed to get dressed for church. As they got older, I would I'd pour cups of milk into cups, and so they could pour it into their cereal and not pour it into the from the jug. I'd gone for like a 20-mile run. I'd come home, and then I got wise. I started setting the sleep timer on the TV, so they weren't watching TV the whole time. But they just became very self-sufficient. Obviously, if they ever need anything, they could try to wake Daddy up. But it was probably one of the best things that came out of me taking up running at that time was our kids, and they're, when we started leaving them home alone, they were totally comfortable with it too.
Yeah. That's a great thing too, to realize, kind of if one is a night owl, one's kind of a morning person, who can take those responsibilities with the kids. Cause like my wife is a night owl. She's not a morning person. And it's funny, you say like sleeping in till 9, and I'm like, yeah, my wife would do that if she didn't have to go to work, or if I didn't have to leave to take the kids into school at like 7:50 or whatnot. And it works, it works out great in that regard, where I get up and I help them get around. And then essentially when we're leaving, I'm like, all right, the 2 littles are up. Like, go jump on mama until she gets up. And, we kind of work that out. And also as you get older, it changes as well. Like I wake up about 5 or 5:15. So I try to go to bed about 9:30, and that gets pushed a little bit. And my wife Monica used to go to bed at like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. I used to go to bed that late too. And now you just shift those working hours earlier. And honestly, like I love the 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock time, because I'm not getting emails, I'm not getting texts, nobody needs help. It's kind of that, you have an opportunity for me time, or like Brent, it's the later time, for my wife, it's 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Yeah. That's like that. And it's such a special time because we need that to recharge.
100%. And I'm going to throw some kudos back to Peggy here, in that I think I'm a pretty good parent, but I'm only a pretty good parent because she is a kick-ass parent. So she does 90% of the work, and I do 10% of the work, which quite frankly, I think is still too much, but it works for us. So she's the really good parent, and I'm just the one who like shows up and I'm like, "Hi, how's everybody doing?" Okay.
Still alive? That's great.
Exactly. It does take the whole thing of like opposites attract, right? Like she's a morning person and I'm a night person. Although I'm getting a little better. She works out. I don't need to work on that too. But just in our work ethics and me being like, say yes and we'll figure it out. And she's more, let's plan it out. And it's nice because we've been able to push each other's comfort zones a little bit and still stay. We're both comfortable, but getting a little bit out of her. So it works out well.
And I'm ready, Brent. Whenever you're ready to start doing some more physical stuff, because I'm doing it, Brent's doing it, your wife's doing it. Like the world is closing in around you, and it doesn't have to be. Yeah. It doesn't have to be stupid like I do. It's kind of crazy. I'm kind of anal. It doesn't have to be like that. But I am so ready because like I find it fun and energizing. Kind of like, again, working on a car. Like I can make this car a little bit better.
Right.
I can make my heart.
I used to love if I could go play basketball, or when I would go work out, I used to love the way I'd feel after that. And it's, the funny thing when people are, when you fall into shape like me, and you go from like, fit to portly, I think is the best way I can, call myself.
You're beautiful the way you are, Brent.
is you always, there's always an excuse, right? And your body, it hurts that much more doing it. So you're that much less likely to do it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like, I get it when people are like, oh, I just can't work out. It doesn't work for me. No, it can. You just got to avoid some of the, like, it's going to hurt. Know that it's going to hurt going into it. And I need to embrace the suck and just do it,
Well, and you're a successful person, and people who are successful recognize what it takes to be successful. And you can use that in any area of your life.
But you don't like failing. I don't want to fail. It's one of those things where you're successful. You don't want to like, I'm going to start doing this workout thing. And if it doesn't work out, then I'm like, no, it makes you that much.
Well, this gets back to what you were talking about earlier. And Peggy mentioned of like your attitude of like, just jump in and let's do it. Let's try it. Right. So like, that seems like the overwhelming kind of aspect of successful people. It's not that we're not afraid to try things. It's that we have maybe the emotional capacity to try things and not always have it work out and not always be the best. And it does suck. Like I have a fear of failure, and that stops me from doing some projects. But when I don't have that, and when I just be like, yep, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do fitness, and some days are going to suck. Some days I'm not going to want to do it. Some days I'm going to fail. It's been amazing. And same thing with the business. And it sounds like you guys have seen with the business as well.
I think we need to switch. Brent needs to go into more of the, yes, I can do the whole fitness thing. And I need to move into, yes, I can do the business. Like we need to find that happy medium.
Oh, can we like create a challenge like here, like a year challenge? Maybe we got to be there in a year, and maybe we can have the Brent and Peggy Hoffmann part 2. Maybe this will be like part 4, because I want to keep having these with you because you guys are so much fun. But in a year, like, Brent's regularly doing something kind of towards his goals in health, and the business can be doing some of those more scary things as well. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be anything super specific right now, but
you have any idea how competitive we are, the two of us?
Yeah.
This could be bad.
I feel like I could imagine that. So
really good or really bad?
yeah.
Nobody wins unless we're still married in a year from now.
Yeah. And you could, so let's think of the challenge. You can absolutely quit the challenge if your marriage is at stake. That's much more important.
That's the only way out.
Yeah, that's the only way out. But an adjudicator has to, like me or Rob, or maybe a panel of your peers has to adjudicate it. But that would be awesome, because Brent, you can kind of get the growth and expansion that you're interested in. You would also get the fitness going, but then Peggy, I mean, obviously, like, the business being successful is a good thing. And, maybe I don't know how long it takes to train for some of these. I'm not a runner. I don't know how running works, but,
one foot in front of the other.
Exactly. Like doing even like a walking triathlon, or, whatever it is, like if that's a year down the road or 2 years, or I tell you what, Brent, if you do like a triathlon or something, I will do it with you. I've never done one.
Go that far, but here's the only thing I'll throw out is
or a 5K. I don't care. I'll do it with you.
That I can definitely work towards. Here's my only caveat: is I need to make sure I do it in a nice pace. Meaning, the last time I decided to just jump in and give everything to my health, it was like 6 months later, and I was having another back surgery. So I just need to make sure I go at a pace until my core gets tightened up and I can avoid another back surgery. And it's going to be, balls to the wall. I like it.
I tell you what, we can do like a walking 5K or 10K or whatever those are. Like, again, I hate running. So
I don't even think Brent needs to start running. I don't know that you would enjoy running, Brent, but so maybe some strength training and cardio.
We'll get that.
Hey,
resistance
Ryan, I got a question
going.
for you.
Yeah, baby. What's up?
Why? So if I pushed you in the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are your options?
If you push me in the water, option A is like pull you quickly in.
Well, shit, everybody's always like swimming. I'm like, my whole thing is, you mean not drowning? I mean, your only option is to swim or die. So is it really swimming, or is it just not dying? That was always my internal.
I mean, but you've got hours before you have to worry about not dying.
True.
Also, how deep is this water? Could you just stand up?
Sure.
There's a lot of technical questions to be
it's pretty deep back here.
In general.
Yeah. Hopefully nobody just runs up to you and chucks you in the water and Brent's like, see, that's why swimming sucks.
Exactly.
I mean, I know I can swim at least like 2 miles.
Nice.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah. Ooh, we could do a triathlon together. So Peggy, you run, right? Yeah. You do the marathons.
We'll do a relay.
So you run. I could swim. No, you swim. What do you want to swim or bike?
Brent should probably bike.
I've got a motor assist bike now, so I'll do the biking.
I bought him a new bike.
Oh, there you go. And you were just maybe sharing your hate of swimming or your dislike of swimming there. So I could totally swim. I used to swim in high school.
Right, you swim because I hate swimming.
Oh yeah, I'll totally do it. I would love. I would love to do one of those challenges of like crazy open water, difficult challenges.
Big Swell's coming up.
I don't know what that is.
I think it has a 1.2 mile swim option.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
hey, I like where this is going.
Yeah, there's some stories working with not only with Peggy and training, but then working with fireman Robert Verhouse is his name. He's also a Madison firefighter, but he did a few different triathlons where open water and not in a small lake, and like you're literally swimming through the vomit of people who are getting seasick.
Ooh, boy.
That would be me.
I
threw up an Ironman.
Swim through it, so it can be.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I only know one person who was a good friend who did Ironman. I know of other people.
Oh, so I'm not your good friend.
2. I was going to say now 2 people.
Is that what I just heard?
But he definitely puked as well. So
Here's the
I
thing.
couldn't swim.
You'll
That's
know
understandable.
anybody who's done an Ironman because they probably have a tattoo on their body, at least one sticker on their car, and 48 pieces of clothing. And if anybody says the word iron or man, they're like, hey, I did one. I
Hey,
love you all,
that's
Iron
legit
Man.
though.
I'm not picking on you, but please,
Yeah.
okay? You did the event. I love it. We don't
So-
need to hear about it again.
It sounds like Peggy doesn't have the tattoo yet.
Not yet.
She's talked about it. She's talked about
I
it.
know what I'm getting, and it's been a couple years, but I don't. So
Nice.
my first half Ironman, I had the kiddos each write their name in a marker. So when I was
Aw,
writing,
nice.
it was
Yeah.
like my sentiment, because usually I'll have them write their names or a little message on the back of my bib when I'm running.
Mm-hmm.
So they did that. So our daughter, who, let's see, 10, she was 9 at the time. She wrote, Mom, you can, and then Danielle. And our son, bless his heart, who was 7, don't pick on him, Brent.
He's
He
just like
wrote his name, Carter. He misspelled his own name all the way around my wrist. So I'm definitely not tattooing his name misspelled.
that's my boy.
But
but
I
that's
would
such
like-
a special memory.
I would like, because I only asked her to write her name, but instead she wrote, Mom, you can. So I would like to get you can tattooed.
Oh yeah.
I don't need the Iron Man logo, but
That'd be
that
super
was my
sweet, yeah.
motto then for the
Oh,
full
I
Iron
love
Man
that.
training was you can.
Yeah, my
And Carter-
friend. Oh, go ahead.
Carter does spell his name correctly now. I don't know what that did.
It just takes a little while.
Just last week, he nailed it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Brent had to help him, but yeah. My friend Ryan Koga, the brewmaster at Carbon 4, he's got so fun, super fun, sentimental ones on his forearm. And it was funny because like I saw him one day and I was like, oh, like, did you write notes on your arm? And he showed me and he's like, no, these are like my kids' drawings. Like, I put my kids' drawings on here.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, they're kids' drawings, so they look like kids' drawings.
Yeah.
So that's why I mistook them for his own notes, but it's like super cute because now, he's got these drawings because like I have basically at my desk one stack. Like I tell my kids like, hey, yeah, you can give me one picture. I can have that on my desk because I like that. I don't want 30, but I want one. But that's such a super fun, sweet thing to remember your kids by. And it doesn't have to be like, I don't know, Georgia font, like their name in something. But
So you're a
something
fan
they
of a
wrote is
full
awesome.
sleeve though, right? So you could talk.
Oh, dude,
giving me a
if
full.
Monica lets me,
full sleeve?
I'm gonna get some stuff around here. You had mentioned going to church, and I want to get like the gospel writers, like their either the symbols of their martyrdom or kind of their common symbols and iconography. Like I would love to get that, just to kind of be like,
Cool.
that is my strength. The faith is my strength. So like I would love something like that. Maybe throw in a little bit of Hawaiian because that's kind of hot right now.
There we go, The Rock. All
So
right,
far,
Dwayne.
Monica's like, no.
Do we want to ask Brent about his tattoo
Ooh, what's your tattoo?
and his lack of his other tattoo? Should I not bring this up, Brent?
Oh yes,
I have
let's
a
bring this up,
tattoo
Brent.
right here
Going
that
back to
has my
10%.
has my daughter on it and a cross and everything right here.
Nice.
And then I was gonna do my son over here. I got my daughter's done within like 12 months of her birth.
Mhm.
My son's 10 now, and I haven't started his yet. So I need to kind of equal out. So
Yeah.
Oh, Carter, we
I
love
want to do
you.
a full sleeve. Like I want to do a full thing, and she won't let me. So I'm
with
boycotting
Monica.
him on my body until she says I can.
Well, okay, so maybe not a sleeve. Like maybe I wouldn't do a sleeve, but I mean, it sounds like Brent has to get that on the other side, right? Like, what is that going to be to one kid of like, Daddy, why don't you have my name on you?
I know. I am
He
mentally.
doesn't have my name.
Isn't that like the death knell though? Like,
Yes.
so Ryan Koga again, like his wife went on vacation with her sisters. I think it was her sisters, and they were joking around about getting a tattoo. And he's like, yeah, I don't care what it is, just don't get my name because that is like the worst thing you can get. I don't know much about tattoos, except that was a story I heard.
Yes.
And I do think about that. So
No offense, Brent, don't get my name. And no offense, Mom, if you're watching, and Dad, but like Peggy's not the coolest name. Like, do you know any Peggy's that are under the age of 90?
Yeah. Is Peggy the full name, or is it?
Yep, it's Peggy.
Okay. Yeah, my aunt is Peggy.
How old is she?
She's
is she Margaret?
60,
Okay.
62, so she's not 90.
Okay. Is she a Margaret though?
She is not. She's a Peggy. I was like, are
Oh,
you
really?
are you a Pegdalin? What is the
Margaret is actually
Okay.
Peggy is short for Margaret, which is weird because Brent's mom is Margaret. So there's Peggy Hoffman and a Margaret Hoffman. But to make matters worse, growing up,
I was just gonna say.
I know you're gonna say it, that's why I brought it up.
You take the power though when you bring it up.
My initials growing up were PIG. As if Peggy was not close enough to Piggy. Let's like double it up and just give her initials of PIG.
Yeah. Was that ever a thing growing up? Did people make fun of, or did you just like, yeah, whatever, I'm PIG? What do you want?
Well, now I'm the notorious PIG. But
ooh, nice move there. Yeah.
Like that. Growing up, it did kind of suck. I had two older brothers who made sure to point it out as well. So I was often Piggy, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably going to suck anyway, you know, with older brothers, but.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been worse. My aunt was ASS. But that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool, right?
It gives you the right to say it whenever you want. Like ass. Yeah. That's just my initials. What do you mean? That's
my nickname. Big ass. Notorious big ass.
Notorious ASS.
Yeah.
So that I'm
what does Monica do though? I didn't know Monica had her own thing. What is the story there?
Yeah, so she makes wedding gowns and does alterations.
Nice.
So potentially one of the highest stress industries in the world. Yeah. Because brides can sometimes be the best, but she works with about 90%, 99% of the best people. So 99% of the time, it's
she's
really
99% awesome. Lucky then. Awesome. There's a lot of brides. I'm like, holy cow.
Well, and you get just 5-star, 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 and then like 1 3-star, and it's like that one person who was crazy, and you're like, okay, well, we'll provide the feedback and whatever. But even to the point of like, hey, we'll keep working on this. She'll keep working on it and not charge you for additional work just so you're happy. Yeah. Even though you're wrong. Yeah. It's better for business to forego that little bit of money for, a better experience for that person. But yeah, this space actually used to be her space. We converted it at the end of last year. Actually, and that's my kids. So they do a lot of projects too. And they're working towards having an Etsy shop, which is pretty awesome.
I feel like we should drop Danielle off over there.
Let's say our kids
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Danielle took over my sewing area. Like I got her own sewing machine, but she took over everything.
That's awesome. And what does she sew?
The most random things. Fidgets. She makes she puts beads in little things. She makes napkins, masks. Apparently school had her make a bags thing, virtual school. She had to make a bag set, the cornhole toss. And all of a sudden she comes up and she's like, look at the bean bags I made for bags. I'm like, hope you got an A in that. Like,
cornhole.
Yeah.
I had to make the actual cornhole things though. And she's like, no, Dad, we're just going to do it out of cardboard. I was like, okay.
They are pretty cool. They're really big.
Making it out of real wood. Like it's not easy to do. There's a lot of duct tape on that thing.
Yeah, and the cardboard probably wouldn't hold together.
Yeah, well, there's enough duct tape.
Unless it's small. Oh, you made it out of cardboard.
Dirty and pretty big. Yeah.
Yeah. They're probably 80% of normal size.
You gotta share some photos. That'd be fun to see.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Our kids mostly do like headbands and hair stuff.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Because that was
We've
something
done the scrunchies.
Like scrunchies. Yeah. And like just random people would see them and like, where'd you get that? And like, we made them. Like, can we have one? Like, yeah, we'll make you some. So that's kind of how their business is developing.
$14.99. Yeah.
So I know it's bespoke. So this used to be my wife's area. It's about 200 square feet, but she has a studio downtown as well off of Few Street, Few and East Wash.
Yep.
So it was just easier for her not to transport all the stuff. So she just leaves it there, and like 1 or 2 nights a week, she'll go there and work.
So what is her business called?
A nanny. It's called Monty Rose Bespoke. That's why I made fun of that word, bespoke. Monty Rose Bespoke Gowns, but montyrose.com. And she does alterations. She does complete rebuilds of things. Like somebody will bring grandma's dress, and the style of the bodice is terrible because it's like 60 years old or whatever.
Right.
So she'll take that and rebuild the bodice into a more modern style with the same fabric and same pieces.
Can she do anything with my bodice? My bodice is out of whack too.
Dude, if you bring your grandpa's Nike shirt, she can make that into the princess sleeve Nike shirt of your dream.
I like it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's been a problem with me though, for height wise. Like, can she add like 3 inches to all my shirts?
Yeah, it's like the opposite of a, what's that called? Down at the bottom, not a cuff.
A hem.
A hem, yeah. That's the opposite of one of those. So she does that. This was her space, but then
letting out.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, my belly does not help make things longer, but I've just always had a long torso, and being 6'4",
tall guy.
I have shirts that like, I'm like, yeah, great. I would raise my arm, but I don't really feel like showing everybody my
Just got to go to the big and tall store.
Piece. Why is it that it's okay to ask a tall guy to reach on a counter or to reach out, a grocery store and grab something off the top shelf? But if you ask somebody shorter to bend over and pick something up for you, well, what do you think? It's like, well, it was okay for me to reach up and get you something. I mean, the same kind of logic should work for you to bend over and pick something up.
I think I've got the answer though. Like, somebody doesn't have the capability to get something up high unless they get a tool, right? A stool or a chair or something. Whereas you have the capability to get down low. It just might be more difficult because you're a little higher in the clouds.
It's true, but teamwork makes the dream work. So if I do this challenge for you, you can do that challenge for me, and then we both end up, ahead. I get what you're saying, and you're right. And it's just my own personal gripe, but it's always that I get that same look every time. I'm like, "Oh, would you mind getting that?" And they just look at you like, "What a jerk!"
Do you really ask people
asking me? What's that?
I thought this was always a hypothetical thing. Do you really ask people that at the store?
I have once, and about 1,000 times in my brain I have. And I've only actually said it once.
Sometimes when the things you do when I'm not with you surprise me.
You don't want to know.
That keeps it interesting though, right?
It does. It does. There's nothing better than saying something random to somebody out of the blue and just watching their face like, and like, what, somebody just said that to me? I mean, not offensive, but just something that people are not expecting you to say.
Sure.
He also asks strangers if he can hold their babies sometimes. Like, he's that guy.
That's okay though. Like, just don't walk up to somebody who you think might be pregnant and be like, "Oh, when's the baby due?" Because everyone knows. Never, ever, 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 ever. First, you don't want to guess, like, because they're like, "What? I'm not pregnant." So that's the worst. And number 2, people's faces, like especially pregnant women, like, don't touch them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I learned that.
We had a long talk about that. Don't ever touch a woman's belly without consent. Carter, our son, is doing human growth and development in school right now. He's learned all about consent again. Which he's already learned from us, but.
Well, and babies are kind of the thing where, the parents are generally like, "Oh yes, please just hold the baby for half an hour. It's worth it." So that's fair game. Just don't take them out of their hands without asking. You would never do that though.
Am I wrong in saying though, there's something about the way a baby's head smells? I mean, this video, our live happy hour here is going to go way off track.
Okay.
Baby's
You know what it
heads
is?
smell amazing.
Okay, you know what it is? And this will get weird, and that's okay. I think it's the milk or the formula. I think it's more typically milk. Milk is sweet, like the mother's milk. Have you ever seen Ferngully? Mother's milk.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Steve Curry? What's his name? In Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
Is it Steve Curry?
That's his name, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's also like the smog monster in Ferngully, and he says mother's milk. It's so gross, but I love saying that. But I honestly think that's what it is, because like we get bad breath because of the bacteria, and the food is so diverse that it can get stinky. Whereas like a baby, I've never met a baby except on certain formula. And I've met a lot of babies, just to be clear. I've never met a baby that's had like bad breath or smelled bad up here, because they eat that milk and it's so fatty and sweet and just smells good. That's what I think it is. I don't know for sure, but I've definitely actually thought about this.
Should we have another, Brent?
No.
You could always have that baby head smell.
I can smell
it.
People's
Do it. More babies.
No.
That's how you make the world better.
I'm a like one kid is a lot, two kids is three too many. Like it just goes. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say we wanted a lot. Like I still wanted more than two, but then we met Carter, and like Carter became mobile, and then we're done.
Yes.
And I love him to pieces. He's an amazing kid. But Carter made us be done.
That's good. Yeah. And you adjust to, whatever feels right and whatever you guys think is right. And that's what everyone should do, and not be afraid to do that. Even if you had different plans, not be afraid to change those plans.
I agree. Have we had any questions or anything coming in? I want to answer somebody's random question about something random about us.
Yeah, we haven't had questions. We've just had a couple comments. Like Hannah mentioned earlier, the cookies are so good. Best she's ever had. Some of the best she's ever had. And let's see, Sharon Felber. She needs to order some.
Sharon! I finally got to meet Sharon for the first time last weekend, because I didn't know who she was. Well, I knew she was Rob's aunt. But I'm like,
nice.
Who is this lady liking all of my posts? Like, what's going on? Well, she was friends with Brent, and I love her. Sharon.
That's awesome. I have seen that name on some of like our shared content, so that makes sense. It's funny that I would notice that too, but yeah, just like Peggy said, it's like you see it on Facebook, you're like,
yeah. She's pretty amazing.
She is.
Yeah. So I mentioned it earlier that we're gonna have like parts 2, 3, and 4 of this discussion over the next year, but it is, and Sharon says hi. It is about 1:26. I like to wrap it up by 1:30, but if you guys are okay with it, I still want to play a game with you guys, because I think it'd be really, really fun. We like to play.
I've got like this much battery, but no warning yet.
Okay.
So we're good.
Perfect.
I'll run to the
we like
van
to play a little game, 2 truths and a lie, to get to know our guests a little bit better. And I'm not going to play because John's not here, and I really just want to hear your guys' stuff, and I didn't prep. So how you play the game, if you haven't played before, is you tell us 3 short, things about yourself. It could be, I swam in high school and only made it to state 1 time. That could be one. Another one could be, I worked at a store that's primarily sold cookies. That could be number 2. And number 3 is, I don't eat cookies because I'm allergic to most types of flour, excuse me. So those are 3 stories. We can get more into them, but you guys would have to pick the lie.
Ladies first. So you're going to be the only one picking, right? You're going to be the one picking us apart?
So, I mean, the people at home, so certainly Sharon.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, Aaron just jumped into YouTube, so we got somebody else there. So they can guess too.
Nice.
If you guys can stump each other, that's extra kudos.
Mm.
So what we'll do is we'll have Brent go first because he's played it once. Peggy give you a little while longer to think about it. And you guys can each guess, but you'll guess after I guess, and you'll guess after the people at home watching will guess. And you still have a second. You can keep thinking, Brent. We've got a random question over here from Aaron on YouTube. Who's your puppet? What's the puppet? Good.
This right here. Oh, he's stuck on the tripod right now. This is Guy. This is Guy right here. Do you like the hat, though? Does the hat look familiar?
Dude, that's pretty baller. I saw that. I was going to say something about that. That's some good swag.
This is Guy. He has been in some videos that we've done. It's Amanda's puppet that she made and who works here at Paradigm as part of some stuff she did in college. And he's made some guest appearances. If you watched our Christmas video this last year, you saw him murder the entire Paradigm family.
That was so good.
To turn out that it was just a dream within a dream kind of thing. But yeah, that's who that is. Guy.
Yeah, it's pretty quality too. It looks kind of like the standard Sesame Street.
Elbows. He doesn't really have any elbows right now. He's kind of stiff-armed in that regard.
That'll be Guy part 2. You guys, oh my gosh, you guys got to do something fun for the Ryan Reynolds movie. What is it? Real Guy?
Yes.
The one where he's an NPC in a video game, but he becomes sentient essentially or whatever. Like you got to do something, or get Ryan Reynolds to help out.
That would
advertise that movie with him.
That would be even better. I'm sure he'll take my call. I mean, I have him on speed dial, but we've been on the outs a little bit lately.
You'll have to make sure it's extra
liking his wife. I don't know. It's really weird.
I like both of them. I don't know what the problem is.
Too.
All right. So Brent, you're up. Are you ready? Did you come up with your 3 things?
We'll go for it. Let me see. I was shot with a bow and arrow. I consumed marijuana with Snoop Dogg on his tour bus. Now it's going to be clear which one's which. So apparently I was definitely ready. I once, no, because that's partially true. I think last time we played this, didn't I end up doing 3 truths? Because I couldn't think of it.
I feel like you've played this twice, and both times you've cheated.
I have. So now you're going to know which one. Well, no, because one of those.
Oh dear Lord!
He's like one of those is definitely a lie. You can trust me.
I've owned 7 vehicles in my life, which isn't that many anymore.
All right. Let's see. So we've got shot with a bow and arrow, smoke weed with Snoop on a bus, and you've had 7 vehicles. I'm trying to think. So please do guess at home. They're on like a 10-second delay, so we got to give them like 10 seconds. So guess at home. And if you guys get, let's see, if you get both of these right, we'll see how many people get them right. We'll send you guys cookies if you're in the Madison area.
Heck yeah.
Backflip in association with the Cookie Exchange. We'll send you guys some cookies. So that's your benefit, your reward for being live and answering these questions. So
there you go.
Brent, you got number 1, shot with a bow and arrow, smoke weed with Snoop, or you've owned 7 vehicles. And Donald is jumping in here.
Uh-oh.
Donald Hoffman.
Uh-oh.
True, false.
Uh-oh. Ooh. Sorry, Dad.
You forgot your audience, Brett.
Oh boy.
And then over here we've got Aaron. 5 vehicles, wife owns the other 2. There you go. So, okay, I'm gonna make my guess. Brent could be really, really good. Last time he told us all 3 truths. He could be a really good liar and just playing it up on that number 7 vehicles. I feel like I'm going to say number 1. I'm going to say shot with a bow and arrow. I think I might have heard the Snoop one. Didn't you? What did you do in a past life? Didn't you do a website for? Was that you who did a website?
I used to own an entertainment company, and I
Okay.
a little record label, and I managed artists.
Okay. I'm still going to go with number 2 is true. And I'm going to say number 3 is true. And number 1 is false. So who do we got? Sharon says all are true. Donald says number 2 and 3 are false. And Donald, if may I call you Don? Is Donald a Don?
Yes.
Okay. Don, the goal is that only one of these is false. And unless Brent is cheating, that should be the case. If he is cheating and if you do win, we'll give you an extra prize. We'll send you some backflip coasters for your happy
Don
hour.
is my dad too, by the way. So this is going to turn out really interesting. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So you've got our guesses. Now, Peggy, let's let you guess. Do you? Probably should know.
Well, I know. Sorry, I can't tell if my screen's messed up. I know that number 1 and 2 are true.
Mm.
And I did not shoot him with the bow and arrow. And I don't know how many cars you've owned.
I don't know either. I literally shot that number out there. I may have actually.
Okay.
But I don't think I've owned 7. My brother has owned like 17. I think I'm more probably in like the 5 to 7 range. But anyway, that was my lie going for the vehicle.
Babe, should we go get that other new car and then we can make it 7?
No.
I'm sure there's a sale this week.
You don't need to make it.
Is it for Peggy? Because she deserves it, I think.
Everybody keeps saying that. Why? Her van works.
I didn't say it. I mean, it's a delivery vehicle.
We'll make it. Oh, nice. Yeah. That would make life a lot easier for this expansion that we're going to have over the next few months. Brent, come on.
I'll get on board with it. The business expands. We do this video and things take off. New car for her, for sure.
All right, everybody order cookies.
Let's do it.
Yes. No. Yeah, I don't know what I want now.
I want it, but I don't.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Peggy, you're up. And let's see. I'm going to give one to Don and I'm going to give one to Aaron.
All right. 2 truths and a lie. Let's see. Now I'm drawing a blank. I am a really good water skier. I am definitely the number 1 handyman in our house. And I love my husband unconditionally. There you go.
So she's playing the 3 lies game. All right.
Ooh, this is good. So good water skier, number 1 handyman, love my husband unconditionally. Guess at home. And yeah, whoever wins, whoever guesses, everyone will get something. If you're far away, we'll send you some coasters, but maybe our top winner will get some sweet cookies. We can work that out together.
She stumped me on this one, I think, too.
Rob says, "Hi, friends."
Hey,
hi Rob. You don't get cookies.
No cookies for Rob.
I'll send Rob cookies. I'm just gonna make Brent deliver them.
Make him deliver them early too.
So Rob, I will send you 12 cookies. I can't guarantee how many will be in the box when you get them. I did have a friend.
We believe in strict quality control at Cookie Exchange, so they need to be tested.
Says, boo.
I had a friend who was taking them to her mother, and I believe she was pregnant at the time, and she messaged me, and she's like, my mom only ended up getting like 8 cookies by the time I got there.
Yeah. It's that second delivery fee that'll kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
All right. So here we've got Sharon. All are true. Let's see. That's what you guessed last time, Sharon. Don, we got false, true, true. So the first one And Rob didn't guess. Rob just said boo. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks for playing, Rob.
Aaron, you should guess as well. Get your guess in here. Maybe you could win some cookies. Let's see. I can't remember if if you still live in Janesville. Do you guys deliver to Janesville? How's that work?
We can.
That sounds a little far.
Get them there.
Yeah. Aaron, if you're right and we like you enough, we could probably get you some cookies. Okay, so number one is
element on there.
Good water skier. Number one handyman. Love my husband unconditionally. Rob doesn't want cookies. He says all false.
Rob! Wow.
This is awesome.
Shots fired.
Oh, Aaron wasn't listening. That's all right. Good water skier. This is Peggy. Good water skier. Number one handyman in the house. Love her husband unconditionally.
And that's Brent.
And that's
He's
Brent.
my only husband.
The only one currently.
So far.
And we've got Sharon, all true. Don, water skier, false. And that's what we got so far. So Aaron, get your guess in there. I'm going to guess. I feel like I do believe that you're the number one handyman. Just knowing you guys a little bit better, that makes sense to me. Love your husband unconditionally. Let's see. Do I love Monica? Yeah, I love Monica unconditionally. I just sometimes suck at it. So yeah.
All right, I told you my battery's running low, so I'm going.
Okay.
I'm getting to the. No, I'm good. I can stay on. I'm just going to relocate to my vans.
All right. So here we go. Aaron says skiing's a lie. I'm also going to go with skiing is a lie. And Brent,
what do
you get a guess now.
That is my guess too. Although I question number 2 and number 3, their validity, but I think number 1 is where she was going with the lie. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. What is it?
Number 1. I mean, I think I probably could be a fabulous water skier, but I don't water ski, so I don't know. But I know the other two. The other two are true for sure.
Nice. Yeah. Number 3 was a given. Yeah. Your wife is a very lovely lady. She would not joke about that on a national podcast like this. International
exactly.
Podcast, so.
Oh, exactly. He drives me crazy. Don't get me wrong. Don't always like him, but definitely love him.
Yeah. That's
handyman
all
thing's a
about
little
marriage.
in question too, because I think I'm equally as good handyman, handy person, but you actually do the projects. So
can we bring Don on chat for this? I feel like he might have something to say.
It's that you actually do them. So
sure.
Everyone who answered, please do send Backflip your address. We will send you some fun coasters, some fun happy hour treats. And then Don and Aaron tied. So we'll support the business. We'll send those out to you guys. We'll get you guys some cookies. So please do DM us your information and we can get those out. And just to be clear, we're going to pay for that.
Oh, Ryan's gone. Look at this, honey. We have our own live happy hour now.
We won.
Oh,
there we go. I fell off for a second. Woo.
Yeah.
Are we okay? Are we back?
Yeah. I was just telling Peggy we just got our own live happy hour. I was like, hey, he's gone. We can talk about whatever now. And then you came back in.
Oh no. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you see me okay?
So,
now that I've relocated?
I think we're still live.
Yep.
I can't hear anybody else. So here's what's going to happen just because technology just blew up on me.
Brent, that's not nice. Brent's messing with you.
You haven't heard me the whole time. This is terrible. Here, I'm going to throw up. This. You guys plug your things real quick, and I'm just going to double check and make sure that we still have Facebook or YouTube streaming. We'll just make sure we got stuff streaming.
Go for it, Brent. Get your plug.
Cookie exchange.
Cookie exchange. What am I supposed to say? Order cookies.
Handmade in small batches, only using premium ingredients, baked just before they are delivered. They arrive warm out of the oven. Literally the greatest cookie you will ever eat. I will bet your grandma on it.
See, that's why you're the marketing guy, because you do this so much better than I do.
And I just do weird things. I'm a marketing company. We do like video and web and what's that over there? Paradigm and web design and social media and YouTube and branding and have weird puppets. So we do a little bit of everything, kind of marketing fun wise. And we work with fun people like Mr. Ryan from Backflip and John and Scott and everybody else and Jeff and everybody over there. So we get to work with some cool people and do cool things and work on some serious projects and some real fun and lighthearted projects. And yeah.
Let's see. It looks like you stopped talking. I got texts that let me know that everyone can hear you and hear me. I just can't hear anyone, which is part of the joy of live. I'm guessing you just plugged Cookie Exchange. Everyone go there, order cookies for your loved ones, clients, friends. It's amazing. Peggy and Brent are amazing. Thank you guys so much for coming on. This is a blast. And let's get some lunch. Let's do brunch one of these weekends when you're free. If you guys are open to that, that'd be so much fun to hang out. I think we'd have a good time. And like I said, we'll have to do more of these because we got to like 1:30 and just barely started cracking some.
I was going to say, I literally looked down at my watch thinking, oh, how far along are we?
You're looking at your watch. You're like, it's like Mickey Mousing to me. I'm just like,
I've only gotten 4 text messages from the kids so far.
Yeah.
So, we're doing okay.
The 4th episode in a year. And by the next episode, we're going to come up with whatever our challenge together is. So we're going to do something fitness wise that, we're going to have a goal and we're going to do it. And business wise, then there's going to be an expansion. We're going to do a video. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait for that.
We're going to do fun and scary, right?
So thank you guys for coming on. Sorry about this audio issue. This was so much fun.
It's funny because we can keep saying whatever we want and he doesn't know what we're saying. So it makes it great.
Let's see.
He can guess.
Next week.
Guess what I'm saying.
We got the Hooga Health guys coming on next week. And after that, we got from Paradigm Office, we've got Apache Danforth. Although I don't know if she's actually in your office or if she's remote, but that'll be awesome to talk with her. We're going to have Rob Perro come in after a couple. This is Maggie saying hi. Can you say hi, Maggie?
Hi, Maggie.
Say hi. We're just finishing up. We got a lot of great stuff coming on. Thanks for tuning in and watching. If you did participate in the Two Truths and a Lie, DM us your address. We'll get you some great stuff. Again, thank you so much for coming on, Peggy and Brent. And that's what we got this week.
I love
Thanks for having us.
Thanks
so much.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks.